What's up, everybody? It is Selly, and welcome back to another Project Neeli update. That is this beautiful MJM behind us here. Now, I know it's been a hot minute since we've had an update, guys, but the team has been hard at work, and we've had a bunch of other stuff going, so I've been lacking on that, so I apologize. So let's dig in and show you guys what is good. Take a look behind me here over my shoulder. You will see the first of 5 of the surround view cameras. That gives us that bird's eye view. It stitches all of the images around the boat for the cameras and lets us know what's happening when we're docking. So we've got that one right there in the stem head fitting right there. Take a look right there. We've got another one right there. And these are all those wide angle cameras. We have another one actually up on the mast up there. And then we've got another one right there in that corner. You can kind of see it on the top up there. Try to tuck that out of sight, give us a better view. So we have 5 cameras. Now, this boat does have, let's see, we pop up right there. There is an awning going off the back. So just in case that might interfere when you're trying to dock and you want to see what's going on behind you, we did also install a camera on the transom outside of the surround view. So now I've kind of shown you what's going on down here. Let's hop up on board and let's show you what's really been going on board this build. So now that we are on board, let's start on the hardtop, give you guys a quick little refresher of everything we've done. We'll just kind of work our way down and give you guys a walkthrough here. So take a look over here on this, it's getting all set up. We've got a pair of massive solar panels right here. That's going to feed into a very large lithium battery bank, all being done via Victron. So we're going to show you that in a second here. So we've got these panels right here. We've got our Sirius weather, our MSC10, our Volvo Pentasat compass, our Phantom radar, our M300, and then you can see right here, because we did modify this, if you're new and didn't see the other videos, that M300 is actually brought down lower. That is a custom mast. We modified the sea view mast. Sorry guys, we needed to get that done. So we got ahead and lowered that down because we needed to make considerations for bridge clearance. So that's why we went ahead and sectioned that and brought that down right there. You can see we also made a custom box right there. Now that little custom box that you're looking at right there, that houses the rear surround view camera. Above that, we've got our Airmar weather station, we've got our Lopo nav light, we've got another pair of GPS antennas right there. That is going to be a backup 24XD, as well as the antenna for the AIS 800. And then capping it all off back here in the back, you can't do a build these days without Starlink, it seems, and this is no exception. So we've got the Starlink installed there. While I'm here, kind of take a quick peek. We're talking about those surround view cameras being mounted right here. Here's just another look at it. You can kind of see, maybe if I get the angle right, the camera is actually tilted down. We got a really wide field of view with these cameras, having them all stitched around here. So let's hop in, and now let's show you what else is going on with this build. So before we show you all the helm and all the goodies and all the stuff like that, let's show you down in the mid section, the Seakeeper space as we're calling it, because that's where they mounted the Seakeeper. So let's hop down here and let's take a peek at what they have been up to. Now, like I said, guys, this is still a work in progress. We are bringing everything online right now, which means you got to test things one at a time, each circuit, methodically making sure we don't miss anything. This box right here is now going to house all of our AC circuits. You can see that's actually open right here. And that is going to be triggered by our EmpirBus on the DC side. So we're using DC relays into AC to control all of our AC loads on here. And then right beside that, you'll see we've got a switch farm going on here, guys. We've got all of our BlueNet, and because we still have some legacy stuff right here with the 8600, we do have our gateway. Next to that, we've gone ahead and we've put a Seakeeper display right there, because the Seakeeper's right here, and if you gotta work on the Seakeeper, it's really nice to be able to have that display right there for you, so you can pull it up, you can unlock it, lock it, and you can check everything without having to go in and out of there. So trying to keep serviceability in mind when we are doing things like this. And then we take a look around there. You can see we have our on-deck hub right there, and then that black box above it, that is for the surround view. You can see we've got all the cameras, everything's all nicely labeled on there. bringing in all of those cameras. We've got our NEMA network right there. Kind of see, even talk about wiring, everything down here below, behind this case for right now. All there, all labeled up, all ready to go. So that's what's happening down here. Now let's go hop in the cabin. John is deep in getting this thing buttoned up. So we're gonna go down there and take a peek and see what he's up to right now. So like I said, John is hard at work, buttoning this all up, getting this all neatened up. You know, for the last couple of updates, we've been talking about everything coming in and out of here, getting all the wiring going up. Well, guys, take a look at this. We've got our DIN rail out because we're making just last minute connections, checking everything out like I mentioned. But you can see everything is nicely labeled, easy to get at here and get everything pulled through. You can see down below here, we've got the first of 2 of the JL amps. So we've got that going on. We've got our white box. We've got our MFDs up here with the engine for the Volvo Penta as well. So we've got a lot of that going on. I'm gonna get out of John's way and I'm gonna take you guys up topside and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start hitting some buttons at the helm and show you guys what's going on, what all is being brought online, and kind of start to show you why we've been doing all of this stuff finally. So let's go hop up there. All right, so now we are at the helm, guys. And like we've talked about before, we've shown you in the other videos, this has got a pair of the Volvo Penta Garmin 9219. So they're running BlueNet. They've got the fast processor. They can handle all the graphics. And as you can tell, as I started mentioning about the cameras and everything on board, as well as the EmpirBus that we've got, processing power is crucial on this. We also have the 8612 for the navigator side, and we also have a TD50 over here so we can throw up things like depth. So we've got all of that there. So now, guys, let's get into it. Let me show you what all we already have routed into this as we bring this stuff all online. So without further ado, let's cut this in here. Now, obviously, this is normal. We've got nav, fishing, 3D, you know, we've got all the normal things on here. But when we start to go over to vessel, that's when we really start to see all the stuff we've added on here, guys. Active Captain, we know what that is. EmpirBus, Autopilot, Surround View, the EmpirBus settings, Lumishore, Victron, and video. So those are all of the things on there now under vessel. So let's dig in, let's figure out where we want to go. First of all, guys, Lumishore. You know, we do a lot of Lumishore stuff here. We are using the N2K integration into EmpirBus on this. So it actually is making it way simpler to set up scenes as well as be able to control multiple zones of lights. Why do I say multiple zones of lights, guys? Well, look at this as I scroll through. I think we've got something like 14, 15 zones of lighting on board this boat with the ability to add more in the future if they so choose. So we've got that going on there. We touched a little bit on the solar panels up on the hardtop, having the Victron system on here. Well, we've gone ahead and brought the Victron via the One Helm app on board here. So as I go ahead and bring this up on the screen, you're gonna see we have everything on board. We can get a real-time status of what's happening. We know we have the shore power on. We're inside, solar panels aren't doing anything right now, obviously. AC loads, nothing really, because the battery charger is kind of sitting stagnant because the batteries are full. And you can start to see our DC loads, and you can also look at our Orion XS's on here. Those are coming from the motors to feed back into the house battery bank. So we can keep tabs on all of that stuff, as well as looking at what the battery's doing and what the charging's doing, and we can pull up all of our devices. And if you want that classic look, if you're used to a Victron, we hit these 3 little dots right here, and it says remote console. Now we can look, if you're familiar with Victron, that's the familiar screen you're used to on the older Quattros there. Now we can look at it and see what's going on, where's power being distributed, and what's happening. So you can keep real-time tabs on the boat. So we'll go ahead, we'll close out of that. And then let's see, we've talked about Lumishore. Let's go ahead, guys. Let's dig into Surround View. Let's pop that page up on here for you guys. A word, this is set up right now, and it's going to go ahead. Here we go, starting to populate up onto the screen. Guys, we are not in the water. That's why that long image on the far side there kind of looks skewed, because we are working, when we tune these cameras in, to what is the water line of the boat. We don't care what's below it. We're trying to dial and stitch those pictures in. So we're gonna have more on it when it hits the water, but this is the surround view loading up. We've put in the MJM art here. We worked with Doug Zern. Thank you very much for getting us these drawings so we can have all this artwork on board here. And we can come into these. If you look, I can hit on any of these icons where it has a little picture of the boat, and I can then choose a different quadrant to look at. And now we talked about, we started up that bow camera. Well, here it is. We're looking at the bow. So maybe you're going to go grab a mooring and you want to see where that mooring ball is, or is the anchor coming up? You have that camera right there. And we can also go ahead and we can look, oops, I already sucked it over there. We want to look on our two corners. Now we can go ahead and pull up our two sides and see what's happening there. So that is surround view. We're going to have a lot more on that after we hit the water, so you can kind of get a more realistic vibe and view of what's happening there. And let's see, let's go into, let's scroll over here, video. Guys, this is another reason we needed a lot of processing power on board. This is surround view. You can have that as a video option to just get that bird's eye view. But if I hit option and I go to sources, we've got a lot of cameras here, guys. The bird's eye view is what we know. Bow camera, we talked about it. Now we can get into here, the center locker. That was that Seakeeper space that we were just down in. I can go ahead and I can keep tabs quickly without having to open the floor and see what is going on down there. So that's really nice to have. And that is a daylight. It is a GC200, so it is a low light camera. So even with that hatch closed, we're still getting a really clean and crisp image. And then we kind of come over here. We have a lot of engine room cameras. This is a triple engine boat with a generator. It's always good to keep tabs on things. So we've gone ahead and set those up. You can look right here. We can kind of see across the way, the front of the three motors. They're still working on it, getting stuff buttoned up there. And we can see the generator as well as the Victron. And we just kind of get a nice view of what's going on right there. But if I want to go over and now I want to shoot across and look the other way, there it is, looking across the other way. Again, just getting a really complete picture of what's happening there. But we didn't just leave out the front of the motors there. Here we go. Now here, because the aft engine hatch is open, you're gonna get a daytime view. We can see all three pods as well as the back of the motor. That's the port side. Now we're gonna go ahead, we'll bring up the starboard side. That's tucked up a little bit more. We'll tweak that and tune that angle a little bit. But again, it's giving you an idea of what we have going on there. Then we also talked about the stern camera. Because of the awning on this boat, sometimes you might not be able to see the stern. Well, we've got a solution for that. So go ahead and we go to stern camera here, kind of give you an idea. This is looking with that awning on. That's going to let us see that we really can't, I mean, we're getting a nice view behind us, but we can't see if we're trying to dock. So if I go from stern camera and I go to transom camera, now that is the swim platform, a couple of feet above water level, and we are looking back. So we've got a really nice view right there. And last but not least, guys, can't do an install without the FLIR M300. That is the low light camera, and we can go ahead and we can drive this thing from our touchscreen here, and we can get that thing all set up as well. So we've got that. Now let's go to MJM 50, which is the EmpirBus. We're getting this thing all set up. Again, like I said in the start here, guys, we're working through the circuits, bringing things online one at a time, testing it out. But this is kind of the baseline of what we're working with here, guys. A nice picture of the boat. We can find out what our fuel tanks are, starboard tanks are, our house battery. We can turn on our nav lights. We can control our windows. Simple things like if I hit the window, I get a pop-up screen to control the windows. So I don't have to dedicate 6 buttons on my screen for this. I can simply just hit Windows. There they are. I can raise them up and down, and then I can go ahead and close it. Same thing again for Seakeeper. We can go ahead, we can come in here. It's not online, obviously, we're still on the hard, but we can go ahead and have control of our Seakeeper there without having to bring up the Seakeeper tile. And then we've also got some different modes. As you look across the bottom there, we have day cruising, night cruising, and dock unattended. So you get on board the boat, you know how you're gonna run your boat for day. We go ahead, we set that up. You know, maybe you want your freshwater pumps on, you want to make sure your Seakeeper's on, things like that. We can go ahead and do that. Night cruising, you wanna go ahead and turn some of the courtesy lights on to a low red so you don't lose your night vision, but your guests can still get around. Maybe you wanna leave one of the headlights on down below, so if somebody's gotta go use the head, that light's already on, nobody's fumbling around. We can set those up as modes. So we've got that, we've got our horn, we've got our windlass. Then we can come down to lights. This is where the N2K integration really comes in here, guys. Now we've got a slider bar. We can go ahead and we can do our RGB, we can do our brightness. Right here I'm on helm overhead, so if I wanna go ahead and dim it, I can go ahead and dim those lights down. I can go ahead and bring them back up. If I want to make them RGB, I go ahead and hit the buttons there, and it's going to change the color, as you can see. So we're going to go white, we go back to white. There we are. So we've got a quick here. We don't have to back out of our EmpirBus, go to Lumishore to control our lighting. We have that functionality right here. And then we can go to our systems page, and that's going to let us know about our pumps, our battery switches, our generators, our engine hatches. We've got some overlay duplicate here with windlass and engine hatch, table controls as well. So we can go ahead and we can kind of get a status of what's happening on the boat, what's its health. That's kind of what the systems page is. We come over here to our AC/DC circuit page, and this is just kind of let us know what our loads are again. What are we controlling? What are we doing? What are we looking at? And we've got our breaker reset right here, so if we need to go trip something or redo something, we can do that right there. And obviously we've got our bilge pumps as well. So that's going on with the EmpirBus. Obviously, once the Seakeeper is online, that's going to have its own tile as well. And let's see, we got autopilot, we got all that other stuff that you are used to seeing. This boat will also be getting, or has, a PS70, so that's that nice wide beam sonar, be able to make your own charts and see what's going on underneath your boat, as well as the PS51, that's the forward scan. So if you're gonna be going into some skinny waters, maybe this boat's going down south, gonna go down and do some island hopping, you can start to see what's in front of you as well as mapping what's around you, so when you go back out, you have a very clear picture with that quick draw on there. So that, guys, is the MJM Project Neeli update. We've been slacking, we've been lacking, we got a lot of other stuff going on. I haven't had a chance to do the video, but I wanted to show you guys what's good. So that's what's good. This boat should be hitting the water here next week, start commissioning, start bringing more stuff online, and we will have the finished walkthrough, complete, done up video for you here. I don't know, depends on when this one comes out. Probably another week or two. We'll be getting really close. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, one of the corners, wherever it is, the little blue end to hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny, helps us out a ton. And we will see you guys again with another update on this build. Maybe Project 1 of 1, Sundays with Sally, something. We'll see you. Peace.